Happy Valentines, everybody. I think I finally got my own answers to, which might help y'all as well. If you're single and you're on a twin flame path or just single or whatever, and maybe you have your interest into somebody or whatever, and if you're on a spiritual path, then maybe some of what I'm saying could help. Now, in the description of this video, I do have more on point type of educational guidance things that could be helpful. Anyway, so with all that, oh yeah, and it'll be in the comments too, because I usually do like 1, 2, 3 or whatever, so therefore it's easier to find and read and keep in order. Okay, so excuse all the noise in the background. That's just how my life is. Okay, anyways, my son's in the background too because he's persistent that he wants me to cook. We just woke up, and so I just want to hurry up and get this video done so I can get my day going, so I can get my roosters outside, chickens outside, my cats, my dogs, and everybody's just all over the place and just... Anyways, okay, back to focus topic. So I cried a lot last night, and I'm grateful because I needed to release that, because I kept feeling earlier in the day like I need to release, and I'm like, why do I need to release? What's going on here? I don't understand. I know you're hungry. We'll get there in a minute.
Whoa.
So, sorry, I'm just kind of a little on edge and, trying to, and I didn't realize today's Valentine's Day. So, happy Valentine's Day. Enjoy it, especially if you're single, because you can pamper yourself. You can do all kinds of things for yourself. Anyway, so what I'm realizing is, and with my guides, is that I need to connect. Okay, I'm on a twin flame path, so I'll be speaking from that type of way. Just kind of put this for you and your way, basically. So when I was waking up, they were making me realize and remember, stop connecting in a 3D way. This is like, okay, I'm first learning this. I've heard about it, but I haven't learned it to apply it. Like, I've applied it, but I haven't realized the reasons why fully yet. I do now. And so I've been basically starting to, this is why you don't connect in the 3D when both of y'all are going through awakening and things like that. Like, I'm still into the identity collapse. I've been through the awakening. I've gone through a lot of things, basically. And so he's going through his awakening, and he's going through an identity collapse as well right now. Now, his awakening is different. I'm just only going to say this, and that's it, because I said that I'm not going to talk about Christianity anymore. I'm going to try to remind myself to not talk about any of that again. So, basically, he is a Christian. He is deeply rooted into it. So, and he's going through his awakening. So basically right now, me trying to be concerned like I was trying to do and open my heart and trying to help and be like, hey, this is what's going on, and you're choosing this path, and this is it, and what I was saying last night, I'm not doing any of that anymore. Like, I know the answers. I know my real answers and things like that. I don't need to bring them up, because right now he is going through a lot right now as well. He don't need me on top of it. Like, what happened is that I realized it's been months now that we should have also been doing this interdependently. But since we haven't learned yet how to not mess with the 3D ego, like what I'm saying, I'm all over the place because there's so much going on right now. I'm trying to be as clear as possible. We should have been for a few months interdependence, but we can't because of the 3D, because of where we're at, the identity, the awakening, all this stuff that's going on. We still shouldn't be doing this separate, but I get it. I understand. So this is the thing. Connect with their higher self. Now, first, you got to make sure you have their permission, this, that, and the other. Not their permission, not their 3D. I'm talking about their higher self. That's their soul. That's their spirit, whatever name you want to call it. You connect when you feel that you're able to connect. It feels like it's allowed, and this, that, and the other. Connect. Give me a second. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to connect to their higher selves. And when you connect with their higher self, it's energetically. So we're bypassing the 3D, the hurt, the emotions, the pain, the anger, the this, that, because it's a lot of misunderstandings when you're trying to connect on a 3D. And the world that I'm in, the world he's in, there's differences and things like that. So what we're working on right now is having, like, I had to go through a few times of surrendering, like, to the point, like, I mean, it's relentless. They're going to keep going and they're going to keep going, and it keeps going until you literally surrender. And you're literally paying attention. You're like, okay, what do you need me to know? Guide me. Okay, I'm listening. Please just guide me. Let me know what it is that you need me to know. Because, or else you're going to be stuck, and trust me, it's intense. Anyway, it is intense. Trust me. Learn what it is that you need to learn. Sorry, I'm still trying to wake up. My animals and everything, everybody, like I said, there's a lot going on. Okay, so connect energetically with your higher selves. When you're doing that, just know that whatever's going on in the 3D, you're just going to have to allow it to happen. That's not our control. We can't control anything in the 3D. Like, I'm 3D right now. You're seeing me as 3D, talking to you 3D. And, with your twin and twin or your partner or whoever, it's 3D. Like I said, higher self, soul. You'll notice it'll feel lighter. It'll feel brighter. You'll feel like you're in love. You'll feel like everything's perfect. Like, you'll literally get visions and stuff too of your higher self and their higher self playing together and things like that. I don't know if it's like that for other couples. I know for a twin flame path it is. And that's what I keep researching, and that's what it keeps saying. So I don't know. I can't speak for everybody. But you will see your higher selves playing. You'll get visions. You'll get things where it's just like you're cuddling, you're kissing, you're having fun. They're picking on you. You're picking on them, and it's a back and forth interaction. And I was doing all of that. But then now I'm actually learning what I didn't. Like, I've learned the words. I learned, like, this is what happens and this is the order and this, Now I'm learning to actually apply what it is that I'm learning. And it's going to be a little hard because it's not easy to do this, what I'm saying, but at least being aware that you can do these kind of steps will definitely help. Because if I step back, which is going to happen, I'm human, we're going to make mistakes. You'll step back, I'll step back, but eventually after enough, memory muscle or whatever, practice and stuff, it'll become easier. So, I'm going to have to, every time I start getting emotional and this and the other, I have to somehow remind myself, hold on, wait, I must be connecting 3D. I need to connect to the higher self. Let's go back to what it's supposed to be. That's my little man. He's nonverbal autistic, and I'm proud of him, because when I would record, he's been through different steps. Like, he was quiet, he never spoke, and now he is. I'll explain that. Look at my other posts. You'll see some of this. Sorry, I'm trying to stay on topic. So what I'm realizing, like I said, is it's our higher self that I'm going to have to connect to, because the things that I'm aware of is only going to hurt him right now. And because he hasn't lived it, he doesn't understand it. And so I can't sit there and be like, okay, this is the knowledge that I'm aware of that could be helpful for you and blah, 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 blah. He's going to see it as I'm his enemy and that I'm attacking him, especially being rooted in Christianity here in the South in Texas. Yeah. You're very 3D, egotistical, sorry, Ben, I'm not saying it that way. That's just how things come out. When we are like that, our 3D selves is what I'm trying to say. Thank you for helping me catch that. Because it's easily to trigger each other. And I'm not here to try to trigger him or anything. I'm not here to try to harm him. I'm letting him know, if he does watch this, that I'm going to try my best to stick to the higher self thing and not do anything with our 3D selves. Because, not right now anyhow. Because we're not ready, obviously. We can try to, whatever. Okay, so, that got me so distracted. Anyways, interdependence, I'm going to go on another topic. Interdependence. You're basically able to help one another. Because the first thing you do through this awakening is you're going to learn how to self-regulate, regulate your nervous system, because you got to learn how to regulate your nervous system. Like, what is a nervous system? This and the other. Like, learn the whole steps. Learn it, work on it, get that going, and then you're going to, because I've been learning this on my own, so it's like everything's been backwards and it's crazy. But anyway, I'm piecing everything together like what I'm doing in this video right now. Like I said, I've read it, discovered it, been through it. It's just now I'm learning certain things to apply. So you have to learn self-soothing, self-comfort, self-this, self-that. Everything is alone. While your identity is collapsing, you're going to learn self-soothing, self-this, self-that, because nobody's going to be there for you. But at the same time, that's where interdependence does come in, if you can do that. But I'm ready, he's not ready. And I'm not forcing him either. And that's where I'm backing off right now. And I'm saying I'm going to stay to our higher selves and do what I can do in those type of ways right now. I'll explain a little more on that. So he, like, for instance, like right now, what he's going through is everything that I've been through already. He's basically, like I just said, going through an awakening in his way. He's having to learn to self-soothe, self-regulate, self-this, self-that. If he's learning all that. I don't know. I can't speak for him. But that's what he's going through right now. That's what they're trying to teach him. Then his, when it gets to a certain point, like I said, then communication can happen in a 3D level to where we can actually safely do interdependence together. But right now, while I'm teaching this and all that, like everything's coming together, everything's piecing together. Like right now, we can't do that. Not just yet. Because he has to fall like I had to fall. And that sounds cruel, but that's how it is. I had to fall by myself. He wasn't here holding my hand, and we're not there to hold their hand either, because all that's going to do is block their growth. Like, they have to learn all this on their own too, just like we had to learn this on our own too. This is where people can turn bitter and angry and things like that. And so that's where I was even saying last night, I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow myself to turn angry and bitter, even though the word, because I used talk to text, it was like angry and better. I'm like, and I couldn't fix it because I think it was on the comment section. So I was like, whatever. So you'll see a lot of misspelling words sometimes in my posts because I use talk to text, because I'm in a hurry. Like I'm one person taking care of everything here. So, I'm doing the best that I can. I'm just, anyway. So I'm realizing that we're not able to do the interdependence yet. And those are the reasons why. As long as he is so rooted deeply into Christianity and not opening his box any at all. Like, some people still are Christian, but they've learned to open their box. He's not opening his box. And I can't teach him these kind of things yet. Like, the things that I've been teaching has been too early. So for him, it's hurting him. It's making him angry and all of that. And so I'm backing off. That's why I'm backing off, because I truly do care. And so I'm having to stop and realize these things and pull everything. Like, I have to, redo all this again. So I'm connecting to our higher selves. And that's why I'm doing that, is because that's going to help him while he's going through his awakening. It's still a form of energetically connecting, but it's in a healthy way. So it's not interfering with his awakening and his processes, his surrendering, his self-soothing, his self-this, his self-that, And so I got emotional last night and jumping ahead of time, because I need my needs met too. Like, I need love too. And when I say love, I want my twin flame. I don't want anybody else. Now, if somebody else comes on my path and it just doesn't work out on my twin flame path whenever that time comes, then if that does happen, I'm going to have to accept that. I can't, it is what it is. So, but right now, I can tell that we're still on the path together. But I have to connect to his higher self right now. I can't make posts anymore. Even though I would love to make posts like I was, that was going to help people that are, stepping out of it and trying to find healthier ways, opening their box, things like that. And I might be able to do that again, but again, in a different light, for someone that is literally trying to open their box, but is still like how that post of that blog, how he written it in a way exactly like that, that's still not going to hurt somebody that's Christian, that's still going to help, to where it helps. So, like, It's all learning. Everything I'm going through is learning. So that example was also for me to learn this, like what I'm saying right now, to be able to be like, okay, I can teach in this type of way, not the way that I was doing, because each time I kept thinking I'm compassionate, but it's for somebody that's already aware and opening their box and, things like that. So anyway, and so where he's at right now, I got to step back anyway because I know how rough it is. It hurts because I'm just going to have to do plenty of nights crying by myself and more self-soothing and more self this and self that. There's nothing I can do. I have to. Because he's got to go through the processes he's going through. And with me adding my pain on top of it is not going to be helping him. So he's got to go through what he's got to go through. I'm going to have to go through this. Like I said, I'm just going to have to keep self-soothing and all that. And eventually maybe I'll get to the dream of what I want. I want my twin flame path. That's what I want. And so this is in a more mature level of handling our twin flame path. It takes time to get here. It's not an overnight process. And so the quicker you get away from anger and bitterness and things like that, the quicker that you'll be able to get on your track, to be able to, like I said, just connect with our higher selves, learn the energies, feel into the energies. You're going to be crying alone. You're going to be doing everything alone. That's the whole point of this path. We have to do everything alone, unfortunately. At first, until, like I said, it's a teaching ground. It teaches us how to not be dependent and attached and, things like that. And so I'm still stuck here because he's got to go through that now too. So I'm still going to have to self-soothe, self-regulate, self-this, and that. So, but he's got to learn that right now himself. So, and that's where some twin flames fail because they need love so desperately that they're going to go find somebody else. They're going to be with somebody else because for whatever reason, they're not working on the path. I'm trying to be more mindful and everything on my wording. Trust me, it's not easy, but I'm trying. So yeah, so this is where I'm at, and I know that I'm going to have to, like I said, continue to do all of this in this type of manner, in this type of way. It just is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it, and this is where we are. So hopefully any of this information and everything will be helpful for you. Connecting, like I said, and then when you connect energetically as well with our higher selves, it'll be stronger telepathic communication, like what I was just saying. You'll see your higher selves playing together. Because, okay, it'll come in a vision like y'all, but it's your higher selves. And that's where we have to learn, because I've listened to a lot of twin flame couples. You'll mix up when it's higher self guidance versus you'll think that it's just guidance and that some reason their 3D self is reaching out like that. And their 3D self is not reaching out like that. Like, he is not where, like, everything that I'm talking about right now, for him, this is probably foreign language. I probably sound like an extraterrestrial, beep, 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 or whatever to him. So all this wording and everything, because like I said, he's deeply rooted in Christianity. So everything that I'm saying for him, he's probably like, she's crazy, she's this, she's that, that's just how it is. Anyway, and so let me try to get my frame of mind back. And so it's basically so easy for us to confuse our 3D selves with our higher selves. When you see your higher selves playing or whatever, interacting, don't go to them and be like, oh, I just saw a daydream of us and that everything was so beautiful and it was so great. Yeah, it was the higher selves, not the 3D selves, because he could be having a bad day or whatever's happening in his personal life. So that's where I'm still having to learn these things. And like, if we ever do get to communicate in interdependence, like what the couples are doing, the twin flame couples that are together, they had to learn that too. They had to learn, like, okay, I can't communicate with them like this. I can tell them, but I have to be aware and mindful that this is not our interaction. That there might be guidance in it, but it might be just a playful, like, keeping the energies going good and, things like other reasons. So, yeah, so be mindful of that too. Know that that's your higher selves probably playing together and things like that. That doesn't mean that they're aware of it, and it doesn't mean that they're wanting to have a part of it or anything like that. Because like mine right now could care less probably about that. I don't know. I can't speak for him, but I do know that where we're at right now, it's going to have to be me connecting with our higher selves. And I'll we'll see what happens along the way.